the footy show. Yes, match day 2 for Group G with Belgium and Iran playing first at 5 a.m. PGT local time here in Port Moresby earlier this morning. Later on at 2 p.m. PGT local time here in Port Moresby again, Egypt beat New Zealand 3-1, which means that they will be at the top of the group with New Zealand second, Belgium third, and Iran fourth place in Group G, meaning that Belgium have to win their next game to even consider being qualified for the round of 32. Was I surprised with the game? No, I think we could have done a better job with actually finishing all the passes from Kevin De Bruyne, Tillemans. Attacking players were not doing their job. Lukaku was looking for service everywhere and couldn't execute at all. The last time this happened was 2002 in Korea and Japan when Belgium failed to score in the first two games of the group. And again, this is not shocking. Pool talent that Germany, France, and Spain have are much more bigger compared to what Belgium and the Netherlands have. Bigger countries just have much bigger options to choose from. So it's no surprise. I'm not making that as an excuse, but you can tell with the decline from 2018 that Belgium is just not the same with De Bruyne, Lukaku, and then Tillemans about to take over the mantle. You know, there's got to be a change of the guard and a rapid, succession of bringing in players to compete with these other countries in Europe as well as outside of Europe, South American teams, North America. Canada absolutely disgraced us in 2018 in Qatar. Not 2018, in 2022 in Qatar, absolutely got dismantled and disgrace. The concerning thing was today we had majority possession, but we couldn't even score. Seriously, we couldn't even score. I'm looking at the stats right now. So 22 shots for Belgium, 7 shots for Iran. Shots on target was 7, 3 for Iran. We had 575 passes, 7 fouls to 9, 1 red card, 3 offsides, 4 corners, and we couldn't even put that game away, honestly. And then De Bruyne gets subbed off, for Matheus Fernandes Pardo, but I think Fernandes Pardo should have came on much more early than that. And De Bruyne was hooked at the 87th minute, and then Lukaku had to be subbed off at the 73rd minute for Arthur Théat, moving Luka Bacchio from a winger position to the center forward. So, if you just judging by all those stats, there is no way that we didn't bury Iran like that. But you know what? We didn't show them enough respect. Ngoy trying to pass it back to Courtois, doing it just so carefree, assuming, being so arrogant in thinking that Iran weren't going to pounce on it. Shame. Such a shameful performance. J'en ai marre. Il n'y a pas d'effort. On veut pas marquer. It's crazy. I just want to see at least some effort. Like this only comes every 4 years. At least show some. Like look at the World Cup qualifying group stages. Like, oh merde, on a joué beaucoup de jeux là. Wales was crazy. Going there, playing them, and then Liechtenstein was the last one to qualify. But maintenant, c'est comme on s'en fout. It's like we don't want to play anymore. Seriously, like I had no high expectations for this team to do any different than they did now, but at least show some effort when you're playing. Like just think about all the fans that have made it all the way there, the ones that get up like myself at 5 a.m. in the morning just to watch. I want to see flair. I want to see, great passing, at least shooting on goals. I want goals. So j'espère que Jeremy Doku will be back for the New Zealand game. It's a must win. And if not, we can pack our bags up and just piss off. And wait for 2030 for Portugal, Spain, and Argentina. And then the Euros in 2028. But who's to say that Lukaku and De Bruyne will still be there? So yeah, it's quite disappointing. I'd admit it ruined the vibe of my day today, and I just couldn't give a shit, honestly. Just the effort. That's just all I want to see. I don't expect. I want us to win, but at least do it better than what we've been doing for the last two games and just drawing it. 1-1, and a non-goal doesn't count as a goal, so it's 1-1, and then 0-0 today. So, like I said, if we don't win this next game on 1 p.m. PGT local time on Saturday this coming weekend, that's it. Forget about it. So I'm gonna be on edge. I'll be honest. I'm quite anxious. It's so hard watching such a great World Cup in 2018 to 2022 to being actually stripped down bare and just being told that your team is actually absolutely shit. And then now where Belgium's in a rebuilding phase, and it's just slower than others. Spain, from what I know, from what I've seen from their team, 26-man squad, they can field two teams easily. That's what I want to see Belgium strive to actually building a bigger pool talent, and then that's it. We'll be fine. Mais pour le moment, c'est fini. Hein. On attend jusque samedi l'après-midi, and then Saturday afternoon, 1 p.m. That's it. It's either going to be a very good weekend for me, or it's going to be a very bad one. But you know what? It's not about taking it seriously. It's just about the passion and the enthusiasm of just watching these games. My roommate from college, Daryl Wilson, man from Curacao. Oh, I know. Yeah, he commented on the reel, and he's just like, "Oh, let me get on the show, mate. Look, just DM me, and then we'll get it sorted out, and we're definitely gonna make a call in." So that is the full-time show. And as always, please, people, please like, share, and subscribe, and do all of that good stuff.